Hey guys, welcome to Admit 3, where we discuss all things movies, media, and television. I'm Kurt.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Rob.
Thanks for tuning in.
Hey guys, welcome back to our weekly coverage of The Last of Us. Today we're discussing episode 2, Infected. After a cold open that sets 2 days before the outbreak in 2003, the episode picks up where last week's cliffhanger left off, with Ellie explaining to Joel and Tess that she is being transported west in hopes of being used to find a cure. Though Joel is hesitant to do so, he and Tess ultimately agree to continue their mission, and the remainder of the episode centers around them maneuvering through an infected city in search of the Fireflies. Rob, what did you think of this episode?
Sorry, I had to clear my throat. I think it was a lot of fun. The intro with like the mycologist, I believe is the profession, with the female scientist. I wonder if they're going to be doing flashbacks like each episode, or if they're just doing that in the first like half just to kind of introduce the whole story. But I thought it was cool when she was like cutting open the infected person's body, and then she like pulled out the stuff from their throat, and it was like all nasty. And they were like, "What do we do?" She was basically just like blow everything up.
Yeah,
Those were basically our exact words.
Bomb.
Bomb.
Just bomb it all. Yeah. I did like that as well. I just like how they originally stormed into this restaurant like basically was like, "You're coming with us."
Yeah.
Like
Everybody
didn't give her
thought she was
any
being arrested. She thought she was being arrested.
just for them to be like, "We need your expertise." And then her looking at the what do you call it? Slide?
Sure.
Like under the microscope. She's like, "Oh, why does this look like this? Can't live in humans." Or like, "Well,
Cordyceps.
it's from a human." She's like,
That's the exact sound she made, actually.
And when she's in the room examining her, she like slices open where the bite mark is on this lady's ankle, and you could just like see all the fungi, whatever you call it, growing.
Fungi.
And it's so it's kind of cool. And then she goes to the throat and starts pulling that stuff out, and then she's like, "Get me out." She's like, "I want to go home. I want to spend the rest of this time with my family," because she knew they were getting bombed because there was no way out. She said there's no cure, no vaccine.
The dissecting scene was so gnarly when she cut open the leg and the fungi was inside growing.
She's like, "Is this a human bite?"
Yeah, it was really gross, and I loved it. I really loved the entire opening sequence, and to your point, Rob, I hope that we continue to get these
I hope they
flashbacks
do.
before. I think that's last week, we had the talk show flashback, followed by Joel's flashback, but the beginning of the episode was a talk show, and that was really good at setting like a tense mood, and this was fantastic. I thought the performers were fantastic in that opening, and I would love to get a glimpse of something that happened pre-outbreak or at the start of the outbreak every episode.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool.
Fair warning, though, there is, I think this is the first episode in which they just had explicit nudity. The body on the counter, I mean, there's no coverings or anything. They just got titties out and everything.
Yeah.
Which I just want to point this out.
I know exactly what you're doing.
As soon as the body came on the screen, Rob's like, "Is that a man or a woman?" I'm like, "She has tits and a vagina."
Well, to be fair, all you saw was the tits, and guys can have tits. It happens to the best of us.
Not with those nipples.
Like we're treading dangerous territory here.
Anywho.
I did think Kurt and I were briefly talking about this. The set pieces and like the set design for this episode was so good. And I've never played the games. Once again, I said this in the last episode. I actually tried to buy it on my computer, and it doesn't release on PC until like March, so that's unfortunate. But the set design is so very good, and it like immerses you into it. And there's like this one scene where they're like walking up through like a hotel or whatever, and you remember like the rubble was blocking their way.
Yeah.
It was like such a video game-esque moment.
I was gonna say the set feels very video gamey to me.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it.
that one part where she's like, Ellie's pretending she's like in a hotel
Yeah.
and the body blasts out of nowhere. And they're just like, but I feel like that whole hotel scene was pretty. Was it the hotel or when they went to the
Motel.
oh.
Holiday Inn.
It was there was the hotel and then they went somewhere else.
Like a state building or something.
Yeah.
Museum.
Yeah,
Right.
Was it a museum?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about though. It starts very like fun. You get more of a sense of Ellie's banter and how she interacts with Joel, but it is very tense. What happens with I believe they're called clickers. I'm probably making myself sound stupid, but I believe that they're called clickers in the show. When they're in the room and there are the two clickers there and they're trying to maneuver around quietly.
Yeah.
It's such a tense few minutes when Joel's reloading his gun and the camera pans to him, so you
hear
can't
it,
see.
yeah.
You hear it, but you
just
can't see
hear
it.
it right next to him, and he's like,
and like it's got to be there. It's so tense. It's so great.
and that whole aspect that we find out the is it fungi or fungi? I'm gonna say it
Whatever you
wrong
wanna
the
call
entire
it.
time. Whatever. It can literally communicate
Yeah,
with anyone who's infected, which is really very fucking weird to me.
I don't know if that's in the video game or not.
Okay.
I believe I read that from people on Twitter they were saying that things changed from the video game in this episode, and I believe that might have been one of the things that changed, is that they're
Yeah.
able to communicate through these
like
tendrils
a-
of fungus.
Hive mind.
Because they're like, if you step or touch on this one part, all of them will come here because they get like a notification
Text message.
that they're in this spot. And I'm like, that's the wildest thing I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You could be like miles away and they're just gonna run towards you at like train's pace. Like, it's really very awkward how these people run so quickly. You know that they don't run like that as a normal person.
Well, they have something else in charge of their brain.
Yeah, people can run pretty fast. I mean,
Not like that though. They're like doing like this weird, like superhuman, like World War Z type.
I mean, they got like actors to run. It's not like they just,
It's CGI, right?
just use
Well,
Usain
no.
Bolt.
I know, but I'm saying they put them on like treadmills and have them look like they're running through. Have you never seen like a
No,
Grand
I know
Prix?
exactly what you mean. Yeah, but I like that with like zombies though, because if it's just like a slow like walking zombie, it's like how the fuck do they do anything? Like if they can't run and do like all the things that a normal person can do for the most part, then how do they take over humanity? It's
I'm also wondering. He does point.
the gun
they're-
directly at Ellie. in one of those
He
scenes.
does, yeah. But I'm saying he looks at Ellie and he's telling her silently, like, they don't have eyes, but they can hear you. If their sight is gone, how are their ears working?
And not only that, but if they can hear you, like how do they know like exactly where to attack and like
Right, yeah. So, just like, is it like, as soon as they hear whatever in that direction, they just know your
it's like
figure
a
is there? Like,
echolocation?
yeah.
I don't know.
Just jump on it.
I guess we just have to suspend disbelief for that.
I don't know. But I feel like we all went into it as soon as the episode started, after that little mini intro of like we were like, Tess is out of here.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
was very predictable, I feel like, in that sense. We're like, she's gone.
We knew it like as soon as the episode started. We were like, all right, this girl, Tess, you said her name is.
Mm-hmm.
She's out of here. We don't know if it's happening this episode, but she's definitely dying. Spoilers.
Yeah, and there are a couple of conversations she has with Ellie and Joel throughout the episode that kind of, make you feel like she's not going to be around much longer.
Yeah.
Whether it was this episode, next episode, or whatever, she didn't seem to me like she was sticking around. And that's one of my issues with the episode. I'm not, like, I've never played the video games, really, so I don't know if she's a character in the video games. I don't know if she is, if she died, when she died. But here, I feel like we didn't know her quite well enough for that moment. As good as her performance is in that moment, I'm not sure if that moment hit as hard emotionally as it would have if we'd had a couple more episodes, a little bit more of her backstory, a little bit of time to
Yeah.
connect with her.
I don't think we ever really
Because I
learned
felt like in that
how she
moment, like
came-
it was supposed to be a big moment,
Yeah.
but we hardly knew her, and
I don't
maybe
think they
that's
gave us
different
any of
for
her backstory.
yeah, I don't think so. So maybe it's different for people who have played the video game and that character means something to them. They have a connection to them already. But as an outsider looking in, it as great of a scene as it was and as great of a performance as it was, it didn't make me as emotional as the episode seemed like it was trying to make it.
Yeah. I think. Oh, sorry, we were gonna speak lower.
I was just gonna ask, can you kill them by shooting them in the head? Like, do you have to shoot them in the head? Like, how do they go out? Because I know, like, Joel was just
Popping caps like a
yeah,
motherfucker.
like shooting anywhere he could. So I'm wondering, is there like a specific way that they can die, or just like you pray, you hit the right
I
spot?
think like he was just shooting them
Yeah.
everywhere he could,
Yeah.
so maybe that's just it. Just shoot them as many times as you can.
Typical zombie fashion is if you destroy the brain, then you can beat them. But to go back to talking about Tess's kind of sacrificial moment, she had already been bitten. She was infected. Like everybody knew she was going to die, and obviously, the crowd of zombies is swarming after them, and she wants to go out in a heroic way rather than just, turn infected and
Yeah.
die. And I think the way that the other characters reacted to her, sacrifice, like shows a lot about them. Like Ellie, who barely even knows this lady,
Yeah.
she like didn't want to leave her, and she was like very emotional about it. And Joel was like very stoic and like just completely accepted it immediately, just walked away.
Well, to be fair, he did hesitate for a second, and she was like, "No, this is the one thing you can do for me. I've never asked you for anything. Do this."
Yeah, I don't think he really hung around for very long to think
Well, I mean,
about
they
it.
didn't have time.
I think that like the whole
The building was gonna explode, or so they thought.
the whole idea behind it was like, ever since Joel lost his daughter, he's kind of like built up a wall, and like he doesn't want to get too close to somebody because he doesn't want to be vulnerable like that again.
Yeah, but obviously, that's what's gonna happen with Ellie.
Maybe I'm being too
Yeah.
cheesy about it. But
There was
That
even a
part is
moment
predictable, yeah.
in this episode when they were being attacked. He kind of like instinctively threw himself in front of Ellie, like
Yeah, yeah.
held his arm out, keep her safe.
So basically, like,
Those
it's
paternal
gonna be
instincts.
that kind of relationship
Yeah.
throughout the rest of the season.
I guess we'll have to see. Obviously, do you guys think that Joel is going to hold it against Ellie that Tess got infected and died? Do you think he's going to be like bitter about it to her? Or do you think he's just going to breeze over it and just kind of like forget about it?
I don't think how he can really be bitter towards Ellie when it was Tess's idea. Like,
I think
Tess
he'll
was like,
probably-
"No, we're going." The
I
whole
feel
time.
like we've had every indication of him as a character. He's grumpy about everything. He finds a reason to be mad, and I feel like maybe it won't last for a long time, but I feel like there will definitely be a little bit of this wouldn't have happened if we weren't trying to keep you safe.
Yeah, but also it wouldn't have happened if Tess listened to him and they went back to the fort, like he said.
Well, if they went back to the fort, like they said, they would have tested Ellie, realized she was infected technically, and then killed her.
Well, they already did that.
This whole episode, like Tess was like looking out for Ellie, like she had her
Yeah.
back like the whole way. So obviously she doesn't want her to get killed.
Yeah, I do agree
Even
on
if she
that,
does have
but
like a crass
I'm saying-
exterior.
Yeah.
They already know Ellie at that wherever they were. She was tested. I thought, didn't she get tested like every day? Like
Yes,
they know
but
she tested.
when they do the scanner thing, it comes up as her being infected, and that's what they would do as soon as they came back to wherever they came from. I forget the name of the place, the quarantine zone. They test you with the scanner, and when it comes up negative, I mean, they're not just gonna let you in, obviously.
Which is funny to me that they were able to like come up with all this stuff to be able to detect and like all this research on this, but they can't like
Stop it.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not a scientist or a mycologist or anything, so I can't say for sure, but they even say it in the show how there's not like a medicine or like a
Bomb.
there is a bomb. There's not like a vaccine that you can
As
use
you can see when they
against
go
it.
into the city, they're like, "Oh, this was the bomb site. It worked to here, but not in most other places or something like
It
that.
obviously didn't work too well.
I know. And then I would like to bring up, Kurt had actually said, I don't know, I might be with Laura. I don't know if I would want to live through this because that shit sucked.
Yeah, that hive mind shit with the
Yeah, being able to
tendrils,
communicate
yeah,
with through it just it blows my mind. It really does.
yeah, I'm a
Literally,
little too slow to
he
keep up with them.
shoots this guy. He's on the ground, and literally you can see like the tendrils come out of his hand and go into the other fungi, whatever you want to call it, and immediately it goes like through the ground. I don't know, like it pops up like outside somewhere else, and immediately all these fucking things know where they are and they rush to go find them. And I also want to know, how do they know when someone's not infected?
When they were like running into the building where Tess was like gonna blow up, I thought that's why they were running by her, is because they already knew she was infected. But then one turned towards her and started like making out with her with his like.
Yeah, and like she let it occur. I don't think I would. Even if I knew I was going out, I wouldn't let that shit happen.
And
Well, if she reacted, it would turn more violent and she would lose the lighter that she was trying to get to light.
That
So,
Right.
didn't light for
I was just gonna
18,000
say,
tries.
in classic film fashion, she's trying to light the lighter and it just will not go, and then finally, last second,
Last second.
sparks it.
Ugh.
kaboom. Bomb.
Oh god.
But to go back to like the tendrils going through the ground or whatever, I think it's called mycelium, which is like how mushrooms like spread out like underneath the ground.
But how's it gonna go from this place to a mile away in
Obviously-
30 seconds?
I don't think in real life it has like a hive mind network where it can like do stuff like that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a mycologist, but the whole premise is kind of cool because it makes it like that much more. You got to be more cautious. Like
Right.
not only do you have to worry about being quiet, but you can't like step in certain places. You just got to always be, 100%.
Literally always have to be watching your back. And can I just say, the noise that these things make is disgusting. I hate it.
The regular ones or the clickers?
I think it's the clicker because they make the like that weird. I hate it.
I don't think that's the noise they made, but
No, I don't think it is. But whatever, like shrieky, like I can't stand it.
it was great. And props to the actors.
Also, where's it coming from?
What? The sound?
Yeah,
They
like
still
why?
have mouths.
I know, but I'm saying like, why is it doing it?
Why is it making the sound?
Yeah, like what is that? What is the purpose
Maybe-
of that sound?
Maybe because like if it can incite fear in people, it can get them to make sound, and then it would be able to hear them and know where they are. Just a guess. I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of guessing on this weird fungi zombie.
Yeah, obviously
Fungi.
it's like a fictional,
Including guessing
thing,
on
so.
whether it's fungi or fungi.
or fungi.
True.
Yeah,
It's
good
never
fungi.
fungi.
I don't know.
It's
Any
never fungi.
mycologists out there, let us know. Fungi, fungus, fungi. What was it?
I don't know if it takes a
Fungi.
mycologist
Fungi.
to tell us
Yeah.
if it's pronounced
No.
fungi or-
I would like a mycologist to tell us.
Simple Google search would do.
Honestly, it's fungi. I know. I already know it's fungi.
I'm a fun guy, so I like to think it's fungi.
I've heard it both ways.
Did you guys have like a favorite moment in this episode, or like a specific part that?
Yeah.
Why were you laughing?
Because the moment where Ellie and Tess get attacked, and then afterwards, Ellie pops out and she's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" She gets bit in the same spot she did the last time. It was great.
My favorite moment, it was just a small moment that made me laugh. Joel is just snacking on this dry ass beef jerky. And that looks like it could be years old. And then the camera pans to Ellie eating this huge chicken sandwich
Yeah.
that they had prepared for her and sent on the trip. And it's so fucking
She's
funny
like,
to
I
me.
think I get this imported.
It was a very
Oh my
funny
God.
moment.
I gotta say it's a huge upset for me because that was actually my favorite moment. But great minds think alike. It was also when she went to go use the bathroom and they threw her a newspaper. I was like, "Ooh, rough time, man, tough time."
Rough fucking times. As per last podcast episode, Kurt has asked.
It's
another secret
it's on topic.
question.
It's on topic. We were just talking about it, so it's on topic this time.
So is this asking me or?
I wrote specific notes.
Okay. In the episode, we see Joel nibbling on jerky while Ellie hilariously chows down on a chicken sandwich. In the event of an apocalypse, what would your go-to end-of-the-world food be?
I would do canned food or like beef jerky, some kind of like dried preserved food because it's gonna last longer, and in like times like this, you want to have something that's not gonna spoil. So
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are we doing like if this was the last thing we could ever have if we wanted to, or if this is like whatever was available?
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Well, I didn't know if we had like Barbara said he would get a fucking canned food. Like if it was the last thing I could ever eat, I wouldn't choose canned food.
Well, me personally, I would choose Van Camp's Beanie Weenies.
Just gonna say you
Beanie
fucking love
Weenies.
those.
I love Beanie Weenies, and they feel like an end of the world food. And
Yeah, because you're gonna die.
if I'm living through the apocalypse, I want to play the part. I want to have food out of the can. I want to have beans and hot dogs out of the can.
so my takeaway was that I want to be because it's like a nice survival food, and his takeaway is he just wants to role play like it's the end of the world.
Well,
Oh,
as
man.
you know, I
don't
would
like
already
it.
no, I would already be dead,
No.
so I wouldn't have a go-to.
So what's your last meal?
I really don't like anything, so I might just eat the fungi and take.
That'd be like the worst way to go, though.
Well,
Eating the fungi, then it just like controls your body.
yeah, but I wouldn't really be there anymore.
I don't think that's how it works.
I don't think you're conscious.
I think it keeps your brain alive, and then it just controls your body.
I don't know.
If it's the same cordyceps that infect like ants, it keeps the brain alive, infects the body, and like controls the muscle movements. So like, you'd still be there. You just have to like, you're along for the ride.
So basically, me and my my body every day. Yeah, no, I would. If this was the last thing I could ever eat, I hate beans. I hate everything. So maybe a piece of bread if I can
Maybe
find
a piece
one.
of bread. You can eat anything. Anything. I'm not saying that anything's off limits. You can have
Chicken
anything.
tender. One chicken
Just
tender.
one
single
chicken tender.
Well, if I'm gonna
Laura's
die
final
anyway.
meal in the apocalypse: one single chicken tender.
I didn't know this was supposed to be her final meal. I thought like in
Yeah,
Well, no,
that's
she's
why I was
choosing it to be
asking.
her final
That's what I
Oh,
was
okay.
asking.
She's saying, "I don't want to be in this world, so this is
Give me one chicken
Give me
tender.
one
First of
chicken
all,
tender.
you're saying
I'm out of here."
You're saying the apocalypse. The apocalypse means the world is ending. It's gone.
Not necessarily. Have you ever seen Apocalypse Now?
No. And it also said go to end of the world food. That was
So we
the
got
exact question.
Beanie Weenies, chicken tenders, and
some
canned preserved food.
And preserved food.
Vienna sausages.
Listen, I'm surviving this shit. I'm going out in a farmhouse way out away from the city. I'm not going near these fucking mushroom head motherfuckers.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're getting cans with pull tabs, so we don't have to fucking worry about breaking a can opener.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well,
Have fun with your chicken tender.
yeah, your single chicken tender.
Death.
At least I'll die happy with my chicken tendy.
Well, it'll be a Tyson chicken tender. And you won't be happy. So, what would you guys give this episode out of 5?
Ooh, a 3.
Wow. Okay.
I was thinking 3.5 for me. I think it's
Of course.
fuck you. No, I think it's a really solid episode. There was some great stuff in it. It didn't quite hit me the way that the first half of last episode did, but I still really enjoyed it. Can't wait to see where it goes.
We're like 1.
No, I actually would give this like a 4.
Whoa!
I'm
The same as
thinking-
last episode.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like other video game adaptations. Like
Sonic.
Halo.
I haven't seen that. That's also a movie, not a TV show.
You said adaptation.
That's true.
So
You didn't specify movie or
I'm
TV.
thinking of the Halo TV show, and the first episode of the Halo TV show, not so bad at least. There was some action, there was stuff going on, but there's like 6 episodes or like 5 episodes after that where it's just nothing but like characters talking, and it's not even like building characters or anything. It's just nonsense. And
I would like to add that I did not play the video game, so I feel like I enjoyed it way more than
the Halo TV show?
Yeah.
That's fair. If you know nothing about the series, then I can understand that.
I
But
was like, this doesn't happen in the video game.
I feel like in the first episode of The Last of Us and this episode, there's like a decent amount of action to keep you like kind of on the edge of your seat. Whereas Halo, you're snoring halfway through the second episode. That's just how I feel about it.
Brutal.
All right. Well, before we go, I do have one more question I want to ask you guys.
Okay.
Do you
More
know?
stupid questions.
Do you know why Bounty was chosen as the official paper towel of the apocalypse?
Is it because it's the quicker picker upper?
It's because it's the clicker picker upper
Oh.
in the episode.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
I'm out of here.
See you next week. Hey guys, be sure to follow us on social media. We are at Admit3Pod on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram.